Welcome back in. We do have a tornado warning now out. The same areas we were talking about with that storm that's kind of cycled a couple times this morning. This is out for Boyle and Mercer counties through 7:15. Clear area of rotation showing up now, moving to the east, getting ready to get into Boyle and Mercer counties both. Where you're seeing the green and the red coming together right there, that's where we could be dealing with this tornado. This is not confirmed. This is radar indicated, but still something that we are tracking here. South of Mackville, just to the west of Perryville, moving off towards the east. This is through 7:15. So if you're in Perryville, if you're in Mercer County, if you're in Boyle County, areas included within this red box, get into the most interior room within your home, away from those doors and windows. If you have a basement, that's the best place to be. You want to go down, not up. Put as many walls between you and the outside as you can, and ride this storm out. So it's through 7:15. Again, it's radar indicated. That's where we do have the rotation between Gravel Switch and Mackville, getting ready to move towards the Perryville area. So we're going to zoom on in here now and take a little bit of a closer look at the part of this storm that is producing those strong winds, rotating winds. So let me try to take that part of the warning off. Let me touch outside of it. There you go. So there's the Deep Creek area that we're watching right there. There's Kentucky route there just to the east of Pottsville, between Pottsville and Perryville, south of Deep Creek. That's that rotation. We're going to continue to track this as it moves off towards the east. So Dixville, Nevada there, north of Perryville, those are the areas that we're watching right now with this tornado potential. Again, this is a tornado warning through 7:15. No confirmed tornado warning yet, but it is showing some very strong rotation there just to the west of the Deep Creek area. I'm going to step off the screen real quick to see if we can get an update if the National Weather Service has any updates for us. They do not at the moment, but still something that we're going to be watching for you. They're saying radar indicated rotation. It has tightened again, and that's, again, what I'm seeing as well, looking at the radar myself. So if you're in the Perryville area, if you're in Dixville, if you're in the Nevada area, good news is that latest radar scan did just come in. It's not showing quite as bright of the greens and reds. The brighter the greens, the brighter the reds, as you can see here. That means stronger wind towards the radar in Louisville. The brighter reds and even almost white, stronger winds away from the radar site. So that's a little bit good news that this latest scan, it's weakened a little bit, but it's been cycling. It hasn't been strong every single scan, but it's been strong. Couple scans, it weakens, then it gets strong again, just given the environment that it is working with this morning. So let's try to zoom out just a little bit here and give you a more broad look at this storm. So there's Perryville, the Danville area, West Danville included within this, not Danville itself, just to the west side of Danville included in this area. And US 68 south of Harrodsburg also included within this warning as well. So Perryville area, get into your safe location now, and also if you're south of Harrodsburg into Mercer County, you are included within this warning. It's really from Junction City to areas just east of Harrodsburg included in this tornado warning that is again through 7:15 this morning. There's the rotation north of Perryville right now. That's going to continue to travel off towards the north and the east throughout your morning hours. And again, I'm stepping off the screen to get some information here. It is now observed. It is now an observed tornado warning with this. I'm trying to read what the National Weather Service is mentioning with this warning. Latest warning out, getting the information. It is now observed. Let's get this information quickly as I can. The internet's not the best in here, so I'm trying to get that for you. It's not. One second, trying to read this as quickly as I can. A confirmed tornado was located 10 miles southwest of Harrodsburg, moving east at 35 miles per hour. So if you're in those areas, this is now a confirmed tornado. It will be near the Harrodsburg area or just south of there at 7:05, Danville at 7:10. So remember, get into the most interior room within your home, away from those doors and windows. That's how you can get into that safe location. And that is where we could see that rotation potential. It is weakening a little bit, so that's good news. That's some good news. And again, I'm stepping off to try to get some information from the National Weather Service on this warning, but it continues through 7:15. It's moving into really right along the border there of Mercer and Boyle counties is where we would see something. Let's try to look. Yeah, that would be where it's at right there. So that's that radar indication that we're seeing with this storm. There's Perryville, there's Harrodsburg. Let's see if we can set this in motion, looking at the debris. And notice how that's really popped up right there was one scan south of Mackville when we first showed you this warning. That was likely the tornado. And where you're seeing the yellow surrounded by the reds, that indicates that there's debris being lofted up and being picked up by the radar. And that's that signature that you're seeing there north and west of the Perryville area. So that would indicate that this is was a potential tornado on the ground north and west of Perryville there, right on the border between Mercer County and Boyle County would be where we are seeing that. I'm going to circle where that possible debris is showing up and then compare it for you to where we're seeing the winds. And when those line up, that indicates that would be where the tornado is at. See if the surface winds, not the best look at it, but this is look at the storm relative velocity storm winds, and that's clearly where the rotation is. Lines up very well with where we could possibly be seeing debris. And again, that's just to the north and the west of Perryville, right on the border between Mercer and Boyle counties, moving off towards the east-northeast. So we're almost at 7 o'clock right now. This warning is through 7:15 for these areas. So this is now possible radar confirmation here on this tornado. So if you're in southern Mercer County, northern half, northwestern half of Boyle County, you want to make sure you are getting into those safe locations. Again, most interior room within your home, away from doors, windows. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Ride this storm out. The warning's through 7:15. Good news is, latest scan, it's not showing quite as much of that radar indication. So that is, again, some positive trends with this, but we're still watching it because it cycled several times. The strongest it looked the entire time was when it was just to the south of the Mackville area. Now it's showing some weakening, but it doesn't mean it won't come back and maybe produce something once again. So positive trend on radar right now, but still something we're watching very closely for you. It's riding right along the border between Mercer and Boyle County. So try to zoom in and take a little bit of a closer look. So it's close to 60 US 68 right now between Harrodsburg and Perryville. That is where it's approaching at the moment. The Dixville area, Deep Creek, just to the east of Deep Creek, here is where it did produce possible damage just north of Pottsville and is now to the east of that. There's Perryville, there's Dixville, Harrodsburg's up here, Danville's down here, and the possible tornado is right about there, moving off in that general east-northeast direction. I'm going to step off, see if there's any more updates here from the National Weather Service. The warning does continue through 7:15. At this point, it looks like the storm will ride the warm front through the area. This is the Louisville National Weather Service saying this. Given its history, we're anticipating to have to go downstream for a while. So they're expecting this thing to continue to cycle as we're talking about. It's weakened, it's strengthened, it's weakened. It looked its strongest a couple minutes ago. Now it's showing a little bit of some possible weakening, but still something we are obviously going to be watching very, very closely, considering how strong it looked just a couple scans ago. I'm going to set the radar in motion, show you where we could be possibly seeing some debris there. Again, you're seeing less of that. When you see the lighter yellows and eventually greens and blues especially, that would be indication of debris. Now it's not looking quite as much impressive as it did just a couple minutes ago. Right there, 15 minutes ago, boom, when you saw the green, that was that indication that we were talking about. Now it's becoming more dispersed a little bit and not quite as confined with where we are seeing the rotation. So that would be some positive trend. That would be a positive trend for sure. But still, we're watching it closely as we're talking about here. So if you're looking for Good Morning America, we are covering this tornado warning that did just have the possible debris signature not too long ago on this exact storm. So that's why we're continuing to stay with this. The warning remains in place through 7:15 for Mercer and Boyle counties. East side of Danville, you're not included within this, but Danville itself, the west side of town, is in the city limits there. So that may be why you may be hearing sirens. You may have had that alert go off on your phone. Hopefully you're in your tornado safe location right now. Again, interior closet, interior bathroom, away from those windows, down, not up. You want to go down, not up. If you have a basement, that's the place to be. Under a set of stairs, just put as many walls between you and the outside as you can with this. It's not looking quite as impressive as it did. So that's good news. The rotation is moderate right now, but it was stronger just a couple minutes ago. And the radar's looking a little bit more jumbled there, so that's why we're looking more at the storm winds, because it kind of can eliminate some of that clutter that we're seeing. Again, it looked a lot stronger just a couple minutes ago, and it did have that possible debris signature as well with it, which would indicate a tornado lofting debris up and being picked up by the radar site there in Louisville. So Harrodsburg, this storm is approaching you. It's to the south and the west of you right now. There's Perryville, there's Harrodsburg, there's US 68. They've cut the warning down a little bit now, just including Mercer and Boyle counties with this. And again, it is in through 7:15 into these areas. I'll keep that on there for you. The tornado warning through 7:15. Rotation not as strong as it was again, but still that general area would be where we're seeing something there. So there's 127 between Danville and Harrodsburg. It's approaching that direction right now. See if we got any more updates on this, since they cut the warning down, so they sent out a new message on this. The tornadic thunderstorm, which prompted the warning, has moved out of Washington County. Clearly, we've seen that, but the tornado warning remains in place for southwestern Mercer and northwestern Boyle counties through 7:15. It did have radar indicated rotation with this. So now it's not using that same wording as it was just a few minutes ago. So that's good news. It was using the wording of at 6:55. It was using the wording of confirmed tornado, damaging tornado. Now it is showing it is using the verbiage as radar indicated tornado again, and that's what I would see as well, looking at the radar at the moment. So positive trend, but this storm has weakened, it's strengthened, it's weakened, it's strengthened. There's not a lot happening to the south of it, so it has a lot more energy to work with than some of these other cells that are pushing through the area. So let me try to get the exact speed that this storm is traveling at, 35 miles per hour, so 35. The rotation's really becoming more broad now, so that's some good news. Again, positive sign here with this. So let's take this out. Ooh. So example here, that's why that warning goes through 7:15. That arrow points to 7 miles at the pace that it's going. It will enter that, exit the warning at 7:15, so around 9 minutes from now. But the strongest part of this storm is going to be likely now more so into Mercer County, southern Mercer County, right along US 68 right now. Yeah, it's really changed. I'm going to set the radar in motion again because it looked a lot more impressive when it was here just to the west. Right there, that one scan south of Mackville was where it was definitely at its strongest. Boom, right there. And that's where that debris also was possibly being picked up by this storm as it was moving through that general area. Of course, can't get it to move correctly here. So there we go. Clicking on the Louisville radar site. It's not working here, so let's go back to where we're at right now. But yeah, there was definitely debris showing up there just to the west in Mercer and Boyle counties. But now it is showing some weakening. But again, that doesn't mean a couple scans from now could look just the same as it did, because when it was further west than that near the Springfield area, it didn't look very impressive as it did just a couple minutes later. So we're going to stay with this warning for you. It is for Mercer and Boyle counties through 7:15. It's 7:08 right now. There's a rotation. It's a lot more broad and weaker now than it was 10 minutes ago, but because it did show that one scan or two scans where you could have picked up some debris in eastern Washington County, this is a storm worth watching. It's produced tornado warnings for the last 2 to 3 hours now, off and on. The strongest that it looked the entire time was just to our west. So just a few minutes ago, it was at its strongest point that it's been at all overnight and into the morning hours with this. And I'm going to show you the rain here on the radar, on Viper radar. It's not looking quite as impressive, but that is, again, possibly where we're seeing the strongest part of this cell that is moving on in. Likely some strong wind gusts now into the Harrodsburg area, but the rotating winds just a little bit more broad here at the moment. And I'm going to check out what any updates we're getting from the National Weather Service. No updates yet on this warning. The warning is still through 7:15. And now they're using the radar indicated rotation again with this. It's moving a little bit further northeast than where the warning is. The warning has a lot of Boyle County and even the Danville, west side of Danville included within this. But the strongest part of the storm is kind of staying north of the Mercer-Boyle County line, more into Mercer County as opposed to Boyle County. It's weakened a little bit. I'm going to show the debris tracker. So this is a little messy here, I would say. That doesn't automatically mean debris when it's on the edge of where you're seeing that. You want the debris, if you're trying to correlate the two, to line up with the velocity, and you just don't have a strong velocity signature as we did a couple of minutes ago. And that's why I keep going back to where it looked a bit ago. So if you're watching this with me, and you can see that it's not as strong as it once was, but we had just a textbook example of a debris signature when it was back in eastern Washington County, south of Mackville. But between Harrodsburg, Perryville, right along US 68, that's where that strongest part of the storm is. Again, the velocity, it just does not look as impressive right now, which is good news, but we're going to stay with this warning given its history. And it's through 7:15. If they extend it, we'll obviously have to stay with you through Good Morning America. But just given the history of the storm and what it's done, likely did produce damage at the very least into eastern Washington County, we're going to continue to watch it for you and stay with you through this warning that expires at 7:15. Harrodsburg, you've likely got some heavy rain, and we'll put the lightning back on here. And I don't know why radar keeps moving on me, but the lightning doesn't want to show up. So there is definitely a lightning with this for sure in the Harrodsburg area, and you're likely getting some heavy rain, maybe even some hail within the core of that as it pushes on in. So lightning tracker right now. It has lost some lightning too, so that would show some positive trends as well. Very broad rotation, not as defined as it was just a minute ago. I'm going to put that on there as I step off the screen to read some of the updates here from the National Weather Service, and we do not have any current updates from the National Weather Service other than this warning is expected to continue through 7:15. It's 7:12 right now, so 3 minutes left on the warning. The strongest part of the storm, if you're in the Danville area, this is definitely to the north of you. It is more so in Mercer County right now. So there's the Mercer County, Boyle County line. This is the strongest part of the storm now. Not as much on the south side, there towards Danville and the Boyle County. So it's more so Mercer County now at this given time. But maybe some hints that it's trying to get some rotation again. Again, it looked really, really impressive right before we came on the air. I was just telling Walker Simmons, our anchor, I was like, this thing is looking very impressive when we first came to you right after around 6:50 this morning. But not as well defined anymore, so that's again good news. Positive signs with this as it continues to move off towards the east. So there's the Kentucky River. I don't know if they're going to extend this, considering it's a little bit of a weakening state right now. But still, Kentucky River, there's Bryantsville, there's Camp Nelson as well as you get closer towards Jessamine County. Dick's Dam is there as well. High Bridge, you're out of the warning right now. But certainly, why is this moving around on me? I think the button's a little stuck here that I'm using. There's your possible rotations on the south side of that. South of Danville, you have some rain. It's not a warning, but some heavy rain nonetheless. Still no update. This should... the warning would expire at 7:15, but again, no updates from the Louisville National Weather Service office right now with this. Stepping off the screen, just try to see if we've gotten any reports or anything like that at the moment. Not finding anything at the current time. But tornado warning is set to expire now in 30 seconds. It did have a confirmed tornado in eastern Washington County, but it has weakened as it has moved into Mercer County now. Did likely, radar indicated a tornado just to our west into Washington County, far eastern Washington County. They have expired this tornado warning. So it is now 7:15. The tornado warning has expired here. I'm going to zoom the radar out here in just a moment and kind of show you what things look like from a regional perspective, if I can. It's not allowing me to, so oh my goodness. All right, this thing's not really working. So we'll keep you updated through the morning hours on our social media and of course here on ABC 36 as well. No active severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings for our general area. We'll keep you updated through the morning hours. If this storm strengthens again as it continues to move off towards the east, we'll be sure to let you know. But now we're going to send things back to Good Morning America here on ABC 36. And welcome back. We now do have a tornado warning again with this storm. It has cycled and strengthened once again. So this is for Jessamine County through 7:45 this morning and eastern portions of Mercer County. That is where the strongest part of this storm is. It has moved out of the Harrodsburg area. Let's put on debris here quickly. It's not showing that signature at least, but it is showing some tight rotation. Definitely it's heading towards the High Bridge, right between High Bridge and Dick's Dam, right along the Kentucky River. That is where the strongest part of this storm is. So if you are tuning in right now and you are in Jessamine County, eastern portions of Mercer County. You might have had your alert just go off on your phone around a couple minutes ago. Get into the most interior room within your home, away from those doors and windows. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Nicholasville, you are included within this, all the way down 27 through the entirety of Jessamine County, south of Nicholasville. So a lot of people in Jessamine County, a lot of population in there included within this warning. So you want to take this seriously, get in that tornado safe location. This storm has been weakening, strengthening. It's just been cycling as it's been moving through the area. There's a warm front that it's kind of latched right along to, and it's allowing for that spin to take place. There's a lot of spin. There may not be a lot of storm energy out there right now, but there's a lot of spin that these storms are working with. And we talked about this earlier this morning, especially this cell in particular, because it's been our strong one. And this warning is through 7:45 this morning. It does include Nicholasville. It does include Camp Nelson and all points in between. So let's start zooming in here on some locations. It's approaching the Kentucky River and the Dix Dam area right now. That would be where it's currently located. Let me click off of the screen so we can lose that warning box. There's High Bridge, there's Dix Dam, there's US 68, here's US 27. It's right there where you would be seeing that radar indicator rotation. This is not a confirmed tornado, but it did produce damage likely. Radar was picking up on damage to the west of our area into far eastern Washington County, just north and west of Perryville as it moved through there. And it strengthened pretty quickly from nothing to producing likely damage. So something that if it doesn't look strong on this current radar scan, when we get the new radar scan, it may be looking stronger later on. So you want to take this seriously. It's a cell that has had a history of likely producing damage with it when it was further to the west. And that is where the rotation currently is. And you may hear the rain here in Lexington on our roof. This is not a severe thunderstorm warning for us. This is for Jessamine County right now. That is where you could see that rotation. And it does look a little bit more impressive there on the latest scan with this. So let's try to, Keene, you're not included within this. West side, West Jessamine High School is. So from West Jessamine to East Jessamine High School, you're included within this warning there in Jessamine County. So take it seriously, get into your tornado safe location. Again, that's an interior room. If you're in a mobile home and you're watching us in the Nicholasville area, maybe call a loved one and try to get to that location if it's close to you. You don't want to be a mobile home in a situation like this, and you have at least a little bit of time if you are in Nicholasville area. So this is the rotation. Nicholasville, you're probably 740-ish is when this would get closer to you. The rotation is approaching the High Bridge area between High Bridge and Dix Dam right now. Let me try to get some information here from the National Weather Service. Again, it's a radar indicated tornado warning. Wilmore, you're included within this as well. And I'm stepping off the screen just to get some information for this. It's going to continue to move off towards the east-northeast, right around 35 to 40 miles per hour. There is far northwestern Garrett County included within this as well. I'm going to go ahead and just take my phone on screen so I can kind of read some of this information to you. It was radar indicated this time. It would be around the Nicholasville area around 7:35 or just prior to that. So 7:35, 7:40-ish for Nicholasville itself. There's Camp Nelson. There's US 27. Again, it's looking a lot more broad on velocity of the storm winds that I'm showing you right now. When you have the greens and reds closer together, and especially bright greens, almost a white green and a bright white, that would show that the winds are going towards the radar site in Louisville with the green and away from the radar site in red. And when they're close together, that shows that you have that rotating wind potential again, because we're looking at this from a dual pole radar that can't show us the full 3D. It gives us, just the direction that water droplets are moving and how fast they're moving. That's what you're seeing here with the storm winds. That's how it's reading that. So when they're close together, that shows that you've got that rotating column of air that would produce that tornado potentially as well. And it doesn't look as impressive as it did. So that's, again, good news. I'm going to set my ringer to on here in case we do get more updates here from the Louisville National Weather Service office with this. But it doesn't look as impressive right now. It's moving over the Kentucky River right now, likely. Let's look at this. It doesn't look quite as good right now. So good news. We want to see that. That's a positive trend here. And you may be wondering, why I'm taking up Good Morning America time, but when you have a situation like this, we want to stay with this storm. It has had a history of producing damage in Washington County. It may not be producing damage right now, but it's strengthened, it's weakened in between radar scans even. So it's been very volatile as it has been moving through the area. So we don't want to, let our guard down at all, and it re-strengthens and produces a tornado for Nicholasville, which is, a higher populated area here in the Lexington television market. We don't want to be off the air not warning people or let people think they can let their guard down, because we still do have this tornado warning through 7:45. So 15 minutes left on this for Jessamine County. The rotation is a lot more broad now. That itself means, it doesn't mean it's not going to produce a tornado. It just means at its current state, it is not producing a tornado most likely, but it has produced very strong winds, rotating winds at that, and has produced debris. Our debris detector did pick up on that earlier when it was in Washington County. So heavy torrential rain falling with this as well. You've kind of got that core of the storm right over High Bridge, and then just south of that, less rain towards Sticks Dam, but that could be where some rotation potential is at the moment. So I'm just going to pop this up there. Yeah, we've got nothing showing up. The rotation's broad, so positive signs, but still it's approaching Nicholasville right now. And if anything, if it doesn't produce a tornado, it still could be producing strong to damaging wind gusts with this as well, as it does push through those locations. So we'll stay with you here. The warning's through 7:45. It does look like it's picking up the pace a little bit compared to what it was originally. Again, I'm going to pull the phone out again, see if we get any updates. I'm looking at National Weather Service messaging here. No new information since they issued this warning at, when was that, 7:23. No updates from the National Weather Service office themselves, but they do say it's riding along a warm front. And we talked about that warm front earlier, and we did just get a report. Emergency manager in Washington County, 2 homes damaged. That was where that debris signature showed up, 4 miles southeast of Mackville in Washington County. That's just to the west of Perryville, north and west of Perryville, Boyle County. So emergency manager reports 2 homes damaged where we did see that debris there in Washington County. So this thing likely did produce a tornado earlier when it was moving through eastern Washington County. Enough to loft debris up to be picked up by the radar site in Louisville. So that signifies a strong and damaging, obviously, tornado. It is not producing one at the moment. I want to reiterate that. It is likely not, at least right now. But in between these radar scans that we get, it could see some strengthening. And we're at the mercy really seeing this based on when the Louisville radar site sees it. And I'm going to flip things over to Jackson's, see if it looks any different here, because it's kind of in between both of them. It doesn't look, notice how the colors flipped because the radar site's now well to the east in Jackson. It doesn't look good at all in there. So we're going to stick with the Louisville radar here with this system. And it's just a lot of spin. We weren't talking a lot about the storm energy with this. We just had an area of low pressure just move right over top of us, and that's why. So I'm gonna have to step off the screen. The battery on my little clicker is dying. So that's leading to it acting a little bit wonky on me here. So I'm gonna be off the screen here for just a moment. We're looking at this storm south of Nicholasville, south and west of Nicholasville. That's where we're currently looking at the moment. It's not as well defined as it was. So again, good news. But we still do have the tornado warning through 7:45 for Jessamine County and the Nicholasville area. You can almost kind of see the notch, right? You got that notch right there. Very broad rotation at the moment. And I'm off the screen just for the moment. Still here, still talking to you here through this. So if you're in Nicholasville, you still are under this tornado warning. You are still under this tornado warning through 7:45. I'm gonna try. I think we got. Through 7:45. Let's try to do this again. One clicker died on me, and this next remote is, I think, close to it. And I don't have a screwdriver to open up the battery pack, so that's the problem that we've got. But yeah, here we go. It's working. Thank you guys. Thank you, Terry, for helping me out with this. Maybe not working. Yeah, not working. It's okay. We'll step off the screen again here quickly, try to show you this. Doesn't go all over the place. Sorry, the radar's moving around again. The remotes are acting weird. So I'm just going to stay off the screen right now just so it doesn't go all around on you. So 7:45, this warning is expected to last until. No updates from the National Weather Service office right now. And again, we did have that debris confirmed there south of Mackville. 2 homes damaged. That's where the debris signature was showing up on the radar. So this storm produced the damage south of Mackville in far eastern Washington County, and then has been moving to the east since then. It is not. It does not look like it's currently producing anything, so that would be good news for us. And it's, again, just does not look very good on radar right now. And again, that's good. That would be a good sign for us. It's a lot more broad. This would be where there is some rotation. So they've shrunk the warning now a little bit to just include this part of the storm, which makes sense because that's where I'm seeing that rotation. It'll be right here between Camp Nelson and Nicholasville, southwest side of Nicholasville. There's West Jessamine High School. You've got Danville Road, obviously 27, so South Main Street. US 27 there as it goes around Nicholasville. That's where the storm is currently located at, there in Jessamine County. The rotation is broad. This would be where that rotation is at. The warning expires at 7:45, but we're gonna stay with you here with this storm as it does continue to move to the northeast. It's radar indicated. It was radar confirmed not too long ago. Now it is radar indicated, so that would mean it's not actively, at least the radar is not picking up on this thing actually producing one. It doesn't look as impressive as I continue to mention, but every time we've said that and we've gone off the air, it's then strengthened again not too long after that. So it's just something we need to be a little bit tedious with right now. If you're in Mercer County, though, nowhere in Mercer County are you included in this warning. So the all clear now out for Harrodsburg in terms of that tornado threat. I'm going to click on this. So that would suggest at least where the radar is picking up on, well up in elevation. I mean, that's 5,000 feet up, but still it's picking up winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour. And as you're getting heavy torrential rains, some of that can get translated to the surface. So there's some very strong winds there. Wind, not a tornado, but the wind is getting ready to move right over Nicholasville right now. So likely some very strong wind gusts with this as it does push on through. And I'm stepping off the screen just because I've had some remote malfunctions, but I'm still watching the storm, and I'm manipulating this radar here from off of the screen. And I'll try to make the mouse a little bit bigger, and that might help you see where I'm pointing at and talking about here. So there, got my mouse on there. There's Nicholasville, where I'm pointing to right now. This would be where that rotation's at. It's a lot weaker. It's a lot more broad. It's not as defined. It's really, this is would not typically be a warning here, but it was a lot stronger when they originally issued the warning. It's through 7:45, so you have 5 minutes left on this if you're in Jessamine County. And if you're looking for Good Morning America right now, we're going to stay with this storm. It has had a history of damage, 2 homes damaged here. This is where the homes were damaged, south of Mackville, when it had a debris signature. And it's been moving in this general direction since then. It moved right over or just south of Harrodsburg as well. It was not warned when it was right over top of Harrodsburg. It's when it was in a weakened state, but then it strengthened again not too long after that. You just put the radar in motion, there it has been. It's right there was its strongest point, and now it has weakened somewhat. So all positive trends, and hopefully we can send you back to regular programming here at 7:45 and be on the good side of things. So 7:41 right now, and this warning's set to expire at 7:45. We don't have any updates from the National Weather Service office, but we should be able to based on what I'm seeing right now, I expect this warning to expire. So good news, but it is, again, this is in Nicholasville, folks. It's not like it's, not in a populated area. The tornado warning is for Nicholasville, just south of Lexington. So this is something that obviously I'm going to take very seriously, especially given that it has produced a tornado. It may not be producing one right now, but it did produce one most likely. We haven't gone out and surveyed yet, but homes are damaged. The debris signature showed up on radar. You may hear the rain falling here at our TV station. We've had a lot of rain, obviously, as well. Still no update. I would suggest this thing is going to expire, though, here shortly. 7:45 when it is set to expire. I don't anticipate them extending it. This just doesn't look impressive right now. So 7:43. Storm's right on top of Nicholasville right now. You're likely seeing 40, 50, maybe even 55, 60 mile per hour winds in Nicholasville right now. The storm is not likely producing a tornado, but it does have a tornado warning. You're not seeing those reds on the south side of this that would show that rotating wind potential. You're not really seeing that, so that's good news. But it could strengthen. doesn't, it has off and on, but it's not showing anything right now. And I'm going to, since we're getting closer to 7:45, see what the Louisville National Weather Service office is deciding to do with this. The air is a lot more disrupted here as you head further north. So, since it's moving more northeast as opposed to due east, if it was moving due east, it would be running into some more unstable air. But the air here in Fayette County is a lot more stable from earlier rain. It's still trying to show some strong wind gusts. Again, that's at the radar beam height. 50-mile-per-hour winds. There's just not a lot here. Still some, but it's right over top of Nicholasville if we're seeing anything with this storm. There's that little notch. You obviously can't see it considering it's likely rain wrapped. Even when it did produce the damage, it was still wrapped in rain. $7:45 right now. Let's see if they expire this warning. Yeah, they have allowed the warning to expire. So we're going to send this back to Good Morning America. We no longer have active warnings. The storm is right on top of Nicholasville right now, producing very heavy rainfall. You do not have a tornado warning. I'd still be in an interior room within your house until this storm does pass. South side of Lexington, between really Lexington and Richmond, right along the Kentucky River, that's where that storm will be tracking. So if you are along the Kentucky River between Madison and Fayette County near the Clays Ferry Bridge area in northern Madison County, we'll be watching this storm. We're going to send it back to Good Morning America. If we get any more updates, we'll be sure to come back and let you know.